morning, Christ the King.
Good morning.
If Cannon had continued speaking 5 minutes longer, that would have been my entire speech. It is so good to be here this morning on this Father's Day. Last Sunday, while leaving church, Cannon Lightman said to me, "Just stand there, I need to speak to you." I thought nothing of it at the time, as Cannon has instructed me many times before to just stand there. The president of the ACM, Mr. Renato Coakley, walked up and said to Cannon, "Dr. Swann will address our pre-Father's Day seminar next Saturday." Cannon responds, "Okay." After completing his greeting, Cannon then said to me, "Each year, I ask a father to speak on Father's Day." At this point, I am thinking, who you got, Cannon? To my surprise, he said, "I would like for you to deliver the Father's Day homily." After a moment of silence, no immediate response, he then went on to say, "I heard what the ACM president had to say, but I need you on Sunday." Cannon, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to address our church today, and I hope I'm able to deliver what you see in me. Thank you. I was asked to speak to various audiences many times before, whether in attendance was the President of the United States, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, or whatever other big event I was asked to speak to. This one was I was most honored. But I was not sure I was worthy. This request came as a different kind of feeling. Let me share why with you. See, for me, church is serious. Cannon referenced last Sunday that church is something sometimes seen as a social club. That rang loud in my head over and over again as I thought about this message. For me, church is the most sacred institution in life, and I do not take it lightly. So to just stand here today, I have to pray over it and ask God to lead me.
Amen.
After I got over the initial anxiety and started to share the good news, one of the response was, "Why you?" And this came from my side of the family. For me, I always believe that if I am not willing to put my life on the line for my faith, then my life is not worth living, or my life is void of value. I stand here and I confess to you that I am a Christian. My expression of my faith may not be as strong as the next person, but I am here just as I am, with all that I am. And I am here to share with you who I am and where my life journey has taken me. I am here to share with you what the Lord has done to guide me through my storms of life. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today, some with broken hearts, some with heavy wills, and some with no will. Father, you are the creator of all. You know our will and you know our needs. Today, Father, I ask for this church, Christ the King Freeport, for you to bind us together, Lord. Lead us and not to forsake us. Open our hearts and our mind to your word and to your will. Father, today and every day, bless our fathers. Touch us in a way only you can. Help us to understand the role of being a father. We ask for wisdom and humility. Give us grace and patience to just stand in our role as the head of our household, the coach, the cheerleader, and the number one fan to our children. Father in heaven, help us to be loving and caring to each other. These things we ask in your name. Amen. My message for today, a journey to fatherhood, my life story. My text comes from the Gospel for today, John 16, verses 15. All that the Father has is mine. For this reason, I say, he will take what is mine and declare it to you. All that the Father has is mine. For this reason, I say that he will take what is mine and declare it to you. To me, this verse speaks of two kinds of men. The first kind I will describe as selfless. The second kind I will describe as selfish. One of my questions for you fathers today is, which one are you? Selfless or selfish? Let me define both for you who may not have given it much thought. A selfless father, you are concerned more with the needs and wishes of others than with your own needs. Making sure your family needs are met, putting them first in all that you do. A selfish father, you lack consideration for other people. You are concerned chiefly with your personal needs over that of others. You are the kind of father that, for example, on Friday after payday, you spend 75% of your paycheck before you get home. Whether you're having a cold on with the boys on the corner or just out on the town having a good time, 75% is gone before you get home. So you decide and admit to God and to yourself if you meet the definition of selfless or selfish. From this, I would like to focus on 4 principles about honoring your father in the context of the gospel that may help you further understand which one you are. The text, all that is mine, and declare it to you. Principle number 1, appreciation. Are you appreciated? You honor your father and your mother when you are thankful for all that they have done for you. You can show your appreciation by valuing their guidance. The Bible encourages you to view your parents as glory. That is to be proud of them. We appreciate our father based on their life before us, as selfless or selfish. Principle number 2, accept their authority. Especially while you are young, you honor your father and your mother when you recognize the authority God has given them. Be obedient to your parents in everything, for this is well and pleasing to the Lord. Even young Jesus willingly obeyed his parents. Parents, there are 2 kinds of authority, one earned and one demanded. Which one are you? You earn authority through your examples and through your teaching. You demand it through your actions. Give all over the words, boy, do as I say. Principle number 3, treat them with respect. Fathers, are you respected? This often involves what you say and how you say it. True. Some parents at times act in ways that makes it hard to respect them. Even then, children are honored their parents are avoiding disrespecting speeches and actions. The Bible teaches that speaking abusively of one's father or mother is a serious offense. Provide for them. Principle number 4. When you get older as a father, you may need practical support. You will be honored by your children as a result of your selfless life, or not honored by your children because of your selfish life. For instance, shortly before he died, Jesus arranged for the care of his own mother. To be honored as a father, your children should know you. You must have had a relationship with them, be it good or bad. You cannot truly be honored if your children don't know you. Any of you seen the movie The Color Purple? In the movie there was a scene after Oprah Winfrey's character had gotten out of jail after many years. She went back home to her family to be honored by them with a dinner. Based on her behavior, she was asked by a family member, "Mama, what's wrong?" She replied, "I don't know you all anymore." To be truly honored, they must have known her. So fathers, your role is to have a meaningful relationship with your children. This can only be done if you were selfless in their lives. My brothers and sisters in Christ, by way of introduction, my name is Gregory Swann. I am a father. I am a proud father of 4, 2 boys and 2 girls. My youngest son, Matthew, is on the altar. My younger daughter, Malia, is on the altar at 7:30. She's sitting in the back with her mother. My other 2 kids, Maya and Michael, are abroad. People often ask me, "What is your job?" or "What do you do?" My answer hasn't changed in 24 years. Some might say that I'm a professional, some might say I'm a business person. But let me say it loud, and let me say it proud. I am a father. That's my job. That's been my job. That's been my job for the past 24 years. Question: what is a father? Not who is, but what is. A good father makes all the difference in the lives of his kids. He's a pillar of strength, supporter, and disciplinarian. His weight is endless and oftentimes thankless. He is selfish. I was born to a single mother and only met my father for the first time when I was 7 years old. You see, my father was a successful man here in Freeport, working for companies like Orco, Bahamas Cement, Bradford Marines, Freeport Oil, and on and on. Many persons, even in this very church, would say to me, "I know your father. He's a good man. He gave me my first job. He loved to fish," and on and on and on they would speak about it. But today, I can recall this statement made by my father. He said, "I was sitting at my dinner table and did not know if my son had something to eat. It became so difficult for me to eat. I was sitting at my dinner table and it became so difficult. I did not know if my son out there had something to eat." He then came to Nassau, where I met him for the first time. My life changed for the better, somewhat. You see, he provided for me financially. Most of my physical needs were met, but I was still an outside child living in Nassau without an active father in my life. I never had a Father's Day, a Father's Sunday as a child. I never had a Father at School Day. I never had a Father's Sunday at a sporting event. I played volleyball and I ran track. I never been fishing with my father. Never been camping or had any male developing activities with my father. I simply do not know what that experience is like as a son. Today, the lack of that experience is my motivation. It was and still is my motivation to build and maintain my relationship with my children, especially my two sons. I just want to stand and be a father. Just stand. I never tried to spend quality time with my children. For me, quality time is a whole lot of quantity time. Just stand. Nothing special. Over the development years, I was there from the day they were born. I taught them how to ride a bike, how to swim, how to drive a car, how to change a tire. As a father, my life was my teacher for my children. Quality time, quantity time. I took them to school every day. I picked them up every day. I attended every PDA meeting. I met with every teacher. I attended every event at school or social activity with my children. I took them to various practices, be it music, be it track, be it volleyball, be it soccer. I waited on them every time, and I attended every game. It was my 9 to 5, being there, being a father. Most importantly, I showed them how to be a Christian. Every Sunday, I bring them to church. On Saturday, I brought them to altar practice, underscore brought. Once they started driving, they drove themselves to altar practice. Being an effective father cannot happen alone. There are several factors involved. For me, one is a Christian-centered life, and the other for me is having a Christian-centered wife. I would be the first to admit that my wife Bridget is the balance, and not only in my life, but that of our children. She provides the other outlet for my children. She is their referee. Every child needs a balanced parental support and a referee. Men find a referee. Proverbs 2:6 and 20 says, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up on sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk blamelessly, guiding the path of justice and preserving the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand righteousness and justice and equality. Every good path, for every wisdom will come into your hearts, and knowledge will be pleasing to your soul." My wisdom came from my life's journey. See, I was not always an Anglican father. Growing up on Inabo as a young boy at age 12, all of my male cousins were Anglican. Altar practice was on Saturday, but in the afternoon. I would sit on the wall outside church until after altar practice, week after week after week. One week I was asked, "Would you like to come in?" That began for me my discipline journey. I love being an Anglican. See, my life needed direction. I attended church 7 times a week then. My maternal grandmother who raised me never had to send me to church. I went on my own. I was confirmed on my own in the Anglican Church in Inabo, St. Philip's Anglican Church. Today, as I stand here, all of my children serve on this altar. All of my children participate in all of the youth organization of this church. All of my children were christened in this church. All were confirmed in this church. The biggest gift I gave my children was a Christian foundation. My oldest son, Michael, at graduation from high school, got the award for perfect and on-time attendance. I don't think you understand. It was perfect attendance for that year and every year in school. Some of you may say that was amazing, and it was. For me, Michael, like all of my other kids, have never willingly missed church. Same with school. If they were not in this church, they literally were not on the island. Proverbs 13 and 24. My paternal grandmother, Lillian Bain, before she died, taught me one of life's greatest lessons about being a parent. And that is echoed in Proverbs 13 and 24. And it says, those who spare the rod hate their children, but those who love them are diligent to discipline them. My grandmother would say, son, bend the tree while it is young. Have any of you ever tried to bend a 20-year-old open the tree with your hand? I don't think so. What she was saying, you can mold a child in their younger years. One of the things that we did with all of our children when they were young was to control their exposure. My grandmother had risen beyond her 102 years. Yesterday I spoke at the ACM Pre-Father's Day seminar, and I told them about some years ago, while in university, I conducted a research entitled The Black Man, the Endangered Species Perspective. Today, as a father, I must change that view by just standing with my son. In conclusion, one of the 12-step 12 traditions, step number 3 states, make a decision to turn our life and our will over to the care of God as we understand it. When I was in the 10th grade in Nassau, like every year before, I returned to Inagua for the summer. I decided that year that I would stay in Nassau to fast and pray. I decided. You see, I was drifting through high school. I had no real direction. I was like a ship without a rudder. That year, I needed to just stand. Every day for the summer of that year, every morning, I got on my knees and I prayed. I read my Bible from cover to cover. Step 2 in the 12 tradition, 12 steps says, come to believe that a power greater than ourselves can restore us to sanity. See, I fell back on my foundation that was built those years serving on the altar at St. Philip's in Inagua. See, at that point in school, I was at the bottom of the class, I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, and I was going the wrong places. My life became unmanageable. I needed help. I also admitted to a power greater than myself that I needed help. The next 2 years, I went on to finish school on the honor roll, to the surprise of many. I had no father figure, so I made all the decisions myself, good, bad, and ugly. I decided to go to school without a dime to my name, to go to college without a dime to my name. I did not have a student visa. I went on a B2 visa. We all know that that's a visitor's visa. My life journey taught me that I needed to be selfless in order for me to have a better relationship with my children. Finally, one of my biggest fears was being a statistic. My second biggest fear is one of my sons becoming a statistic. My answer, just stand. Just stand up and be a father. Lead by example. Make a difference in their lives. My mother was an uneducated woman, a hard-working woman who did not graduate high school. She is one of my heroes. She taught me my greatest life lesson. One was, whatever you do in life, be the best at it. See, she was a maid. She worked long hours for no pay. Yes, there was a lesson here to be learned. Go to work on time. Do your best. Be proud of your work. Be a man. Just that. On this Father's Day, I am the man I am today because she was the woman she was yesterday. Every father should show their kids praise. Praise them for the small things in their life. The small things add up to the big things. Do not kill their spirit and do not kill their dreams with your action. Ephesians 6:4 says, and fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the disciple and instructions of the Lord. In other words, fathers, be consistent with your kids. Do not make unfulfilled promises to your kids, for you will kill their hope. You will kill their dreams, and you will kill their faith in you. Hebrews 12:11. Now discipline always seems painful rather than pleasant at the time, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Be a father first. Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not provoke your children, or they may lose heart. Just stand. Be there always. A real father. Children will make you selfless. A real father for his kids. To sum it all up, Dr. Rigsby once said, ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. I say, set aside your pride and be a man. He said that pride is the burden of a foolish person. Your action will make an impact, good or bad. Make a good impact on your children's life. Just stand. Fathers, do all that you can do with your family now. Do it with who you are and not what you have. The questions I ask of you today, men of this church, Christ the King Freeport. What is your impact on your children's life? Are your children turning to you for advice? Are you their hero? Grow your impact on your family, grow your influence on your kids. Ask yourself, can you stand with pride as a father? And I close with this. Exodus 12:20 and 12. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. Fathers, I ask you, when the Lord is about to call you home, will you have any regrets about your relationship with your children? Will you be asking them for forgiveness, or will they be thanking you for life? Happy Father's Day to all, and may God continue to richly bless each and every one of you on this Father's Day. Good morning.